What's up, Oklahoma's first angler? Okay, Bassmaster, what's up? Bubbaville in the house, what's going on, man? So we had a different stream set up, but for some reason it keeps asking for my software. So I don't know what's going on with that. Moccasin in the house, what's up, man? Steve, what's going on, man? Get a couple more guys in here. We'll see what everybody's doing. Hopefully everybody's got a chance to go out fishing at least once or twice. Weather's been pretty decent in a couple of days. Of course, now we're back into nothing but rain, so. Bob, what's going on, man? Haven't seen much of you lately. Let's see, Cody Peels, what's going on, dude? And I guess you guys can already guess there's no Gabe tonight. He's working late. Two, he's got to deal with his kids too. They are out of school with this whole coronavirus going around. I think it took him out of school for like 2 weeks, so kind of put a damper in his deal. So he will not be joining us tonight. Oklahoma grocery shopping in the madness, dude. There ain't no way I'm going to Walmart or anywhere else right now. I heard today that they were completely out of dog food too, so I guess that's just in case somebody gets a little hungry. Cody says, just what's up? Fixing some rods for tomorrow. Man, I wish I could say the same thing, but I am, like I said, it's supposed to rain here all week long. It's terrible. But I will show you guys something that happened this past week. So this was my favorite rod. This is my Duckett Go Series rod. And notice it's missing about 3 foot on the other end. I've had that rod for, God, I don't know how many years, probably 7, 8 years, something like that. It's been probably my best rod I've ever owned. I should say my most reliable rod. I use that thing all the time. And Saturday fishing the tournament, got caught in some grass, and just like normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Just went to pop it out of the grass a little bit, and it just snapped like that. It was nothing to it. I don't know if maybe I dropped it on the gunnel of the boat or something at one time and maybe cracked it or something. I don't know. So definitely gonna have to replace that one. Like I said, that's my favorite flipping and pitching rod there. So what we got here. Can't go fishing because of the rain, so I go bait buying. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's been terrible with the rain. It rained all day Saturday when we were at the tournament. About 10 minutes before we got to the actual tournament, it started raining, and it stopped while we were pulling out of the parking lot at the end of the day. Today, it's back to raining pretty much all day long. I think Wednesday, Thursday, it's supposed to rain. This rain just won't stop. It's horrible. So White Whale's in the house. What's going on, man? Fishing Fat Man. How's it going, dude? I'm trying to get out. It's been a dink fest lately. Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't mind catching dinks as long as you're catching something. Anything going from that winter period into catching anything is just absolutely fantastic. I will not complain about any of that. So 570 says, you got out Saturday with my buddy. He caught one, but it was just nice getting out there in Pennsylvania. It's been tough. Dang, dude, I didn't know you guys were even out yet. That's awesome. I figured you guys were still about half frozen up there. That's cool. Oklahoma's first. I punched 5 old ladies. They were coughing near me. There you go, dude. I can't say much. I was just coughing here, but you kind of feel bad coughing around anybody. It's kind of like farting in the Walmart aisle. You just kind of have to run off and not let anybody hear it or see it or smell it, I guess. So Cody says they have the Power Pull Braid. My wife just picked up some. Oh, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. So y'all can blame me for the no no toilet paper because that's all I haul. Dude, why didn't you hook us up, man? We're all friends in here. You could have wrote down some addresses and started sending it out to us. That way we wouldn't have to fight the madness. It's been nuts at the stores. Whitewell says, stock up while you can. You're going to shut down everything soon. Yeah, I tell you what, man, it has been just nuts. Moccasin says his dog's got coronavirus. I tell you what, man, when we were down at the show, man, it makes me second question that. That was pretty rough. Like I told you before, that hit me pretty hard. It kind of took me by surprise. But yeah, this stuff is just going crazy. I mean, it is nuts. I know bottled water, this is, we got maybe half a case of water left, which don't get me wrong, I've got no problem drinking the water out of our sink. But we live in town, and it is, or in the city limits, I guess you could say. It is so much chlorine or bleach, whatever you want to call it, in that water. You can smell it as soon as you go up to drink it. My wife will not drink it, but I can live with it. I don't care. I'm not going to die of thirst, that's for sure. So, let's see. Bob says, what's your opinion on big temp changes? Do the bass move or stay put? Bob, are you talking water temperature change or just air temperature? So, what's up, Carl? Time to tell old Yeller him, Moxon. How's it going tonight? What's up, Mad Matt? Okay, says Whitewell, they got us drivers in overdrive trying to catch up. Dude, I tell you what, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they start shutting you drivers down. I really wouldn't. Rick says Kincaid next week. Rick, can you get into Kincaid? Because from what I understood it, they shut down all the access ramps and everything to the Illinois lakes over there. They were putting barriers up. What's up, David? Let's see. We got Cody says, they just turned on here, going to break 100 tomorrow. They just turned on here, going to break 100 tomorrow. What are you? I must have missed something there. I forgot about something, one or the other. Sorry, Cody. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. I'll have to read back here. Moxon says there's been a brutal fishing until a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's been, Moxon, to be honest with you, it's been hit and miss here. You guys seen that last or two videos ago I put out, caught that new PB. They were on pretty good that day. I was getting a lot of hits, but it was a lot of males just picking it up and dropping it right away, just picking it up and dropping it. But like I told you, I was fishing that bluff wall, falling down there. And a lot of times it's it's hard to tell when you're getting bit falling down that bluff wall because you hit them rocks and everything else. And it feels like a tick, but it's hard to tell sometimes. But they were definitely hitting that day. Now, the next 2 or 3 days after that, it was nothing. So it's hit and miss for right now, but I'd give it about 2 more weeks here, and I'd be willing to bet it's going to be on pretty good. So, okay, it says no OWA, dog, everyone else, but okay, I'm not the puppy. Okay, bass metric, can't even imagine. 570. You'll have a lot of ponds are open. It's been upper 50s, even 2 days in the upper 70s. All right, that's cool. Well, at least you're getting up there, man. At least you're getting in some open water finally. It's a heck of a lot better than what you have been dealing with. I wish I was joking about them. Armed escort and out of all cities, the DC everywhere. Ooh. Bill, what's going on, dude? Thank you for the congrats. Appreciate it. Steve says maybe I can trade 2 packs of the toilet paper and 1 bottle of hand sanitizer for a new Ranger. Steve, I tell you what, man, you get that deal. I'll start digging in the wife's supply back here. I'll get something out of it. Bob says last week it was in the 60s and then to the 40s. Water temp change. Bob, I did not see any 60s. If you're talking local here, I know where you fish and everything, but I think I had 51, maybe 52 at the highest. And that's, of course, that's in my boat too. I know you're probably in your kayak, which is probably going to read a little bit higher because of surface temperature. I would say you're probably looking at maybe a 10-degree difference at the most. I don't think it'd be much different than that, though. But yeah, water temperature will cause those bass to come back out a little bit deeper. I don't think they're going to go out to necessarily their winter haunts where they were at, but they will drop back off. The lake that we both of us fish in particular, I was fishing that bluff wall, and that's kind of what they were doing. They were actually, it's about 12 to 14 foot of water there, and they were coming up, when that sun was hitting that bank and warming that water up, and they were coming up to the shallows while it was warm. But as soon as that sun went down and it started cooling back off, they just kind of dropped back down to that bottom of that bluff wall at about 12 foot. So they were staying comfortable where they only had to move a couple of feet. And that's a lot of times this time of year, that's what you'll see. I tell guys fishing tournaments all the time, if they're at any time they're looking for any kind of advice at all at this time of year, that's one thing I always tell them, don't go to the back of a really shallow cove that goes all the way a long way back. They're not going to be back there yet. They're going to typically hang out towards that where they can get to deep water quickly. Steeper banks, something that has like a hump in the middle of a cove or something like that they can drop back off the sides and get to deeper water quick. That's typically what they look for in there. So secondary points, stuff like that come back off to that deeper channel. That's another big thing to look for. Let's see here. Whitewell says, spill the beans on your new PB details. All right, Whitewell. I know I didn't do much in that video, and just to let you guys know, and I've been kind of waiting until the live stream here. With the PB, the reason I didn't weigh that on camera was I actually filmed it, me trying to weigh it. And what happened was my batteries went dead in my scale. It just kept blinking and blinking and blinking. It wouldn't come off of zero. My son kind of played around with a little bit. What we did was we put the fish in the live well because I didn't want to stress her out any. So we put the fish in the live well. He was trying to play with it and get it going. We were just about finished fishing anyway. And I said, don't worry about it. What we'll do is we'll run back to the house. We'll keep her in the live well, keep the aerators running. We'll take her back to the house. Got some new batteries, put it in there, weighed her. We were here at the house. That's why you guys, if you notice on the picture, I was down by my pond. We were actually just weighing her and taking a couple of pictures there. Up by my driveway, by my boat, I've got nothing but oak trees that overhang where my boat is, where my house is, and everything. And we couldn't get good lighting there, so we walked down by the pond to get that picture. And then we immediately brought her back up, put her back in the boat, and then took her back over to the lake where we got her at. So I just didn't want to stress her out, nothing like that. So that's why that scene just kind of got cut right there, was because I didn't want you guys to have to see with us trying to mess with the scale and putting her in the live well and everything else. So, but as far as what I caught her on, that day I was actually I was fishing jigs. And I didn't have a whole lot of my tackle in the boat. Most of it's still downstairs, still cleaning some stuff, going through some stuff and whatever. So I only had maybe a quarter of what I normally have. The couple rods that I have were for throwing more of my heavier stuff, my 1/2 ounce stuff. I wanted to go down to a finesse jig, but I didn't have anything in there I could throw it on. So I couldn't go down to the finesse jig. And what I needed was something with a slower, lighter fall to come down that bluff wall. And I didn't have anything other than I had a small 1/8 ounce weight in there. Threw that on a Texas rig on a Missile D-bomb. I forgot the name of the color. It's a color I use quite often. It's actually a blue with a green back. It's a pretty dark color. It's not a common name on the color, but that's what I did. I was throwing up there and kind of went by a beaver dam that had a real steep drop off in a hole right in front of it, and she was laying right there. And I mean, you seen in the video, I didn't even hardly set the hook. She loaded up on that thing and just went straight down underneath the boat and come back up the other side of the embankment. And that was the end of the story. You guys seen the rest of it. So that's pretty much the story of my PB. Let's see if we can catch back up to our comments here. Let's see here. All right. So Cody says, we were talking about how slow it had been. And I was just saying that it had turned off here in the North Georgia and we were going to catch 100 tomorrow. Oh, yeah, dude. I believe it, man. If you got temperatures coming up, I guarantee you're going to get them turned right back on. They'll be up shallow again. That's the bad part about here is it warms up for like 2 days. And then the next 3 days or 4 days after that, it's been dropping right back down with rain on top of it. So that cold rain hitting that water is really cooling it back down, making it tough. So Rick says the barricades at Kincaid, is the lake closed? Man, you really need to check on it. I know IDNR, the Illinois Department of drawing a blank here, resources, put out a link yesterday, I think, or maybe it was today, that they were shutting down all the public access lakes. Anything that the state was involved with, they were shutting them down and not quarantining them, but just shutting them down for whatever reason. They didn't want anybody on them. So to help not spread the virus. I don't know what that has to do with being on a lake, with one or two people. I have no idea, but I know they shut down all the tournaments over there and everything. So I did see a picture today that I know Gabe had posted, and I didn't hear any feedback on it, except for one guy told me that another lake was closed. So, but yeah, I would just read into it a little bit more, maybe call some people that maybe live around there or somebody else that might fish it, and maybe check with them first, what I would do. All right, let's see. Oh, what's up, Tom? I was cleaning my reel late to the show. No big deal, man. All good. So Whitewell says we had 2 inches of snow on Saturday, lost 2 swim bait fish today, saw bluegill on top of it today. Yeah, that's kind of what my pond has been doing too. It's not even the day we had that hit 70. We got the bluegill up on top of the water, but that's about as far as it went. I didn't see any bass coming up yet. So I don't think it was quite warm enough yet, but we'll see. And my pond's typically pretty clear, so it takes a little bit more to warm that up. But I would say if we get about 3 days like that, I'd be willing to bet I'll see them up there playing around. And I'm sorry you got more snow. My brother-in-law, he lives in Indiana, and I know they were sending us pictures and videos of it snowing up there. They live a little bit north of Kokomo. And, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. I am so done with snow. So, and Fish and Fat Man said, hit that thumbs up, guys. Definitely. I appreciate it. Got 23 people in here, only 10 thumbs up. So Bill says, highest temps in the lakes I've been has been in the mid 40s here in Missouri. Yeah, Bill, I've seen a couple 40s like that. Like I said, the one day I went and got to BV, it was about 51. But they're definitely coming up. Even this week, I think most of the lows are staying in the 40s at night. So I would definitely think that those water temperatures are probably going to reach, I would say by the end of the week, are going to be probably stable at about 50, is my guess. So Whitewell says, what's up, Tom? Mark says, it's supposed to hit to 80 this week. Bass are moved up. Going to be a good week. Going through some swim jig trailers. Yeah, Moxon, I can tell you, I've got a whole box of swim jigs right here that I've been kind of playing around with, some different trailers. So those are definitely ready to go. That's for sure. All right, let's see where we go in here. Aaron's in the house. What's up, dude? Just got home from work. All right, man. Sit back and enjoy the show then. Let's see, Cody says, Moxon just tied on the swim jig right after the finesse jig and bedhead. So Hank Snow says, howdy, everyone. Today is my birthday, and if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be a great present. Hank Snow Outdoors, thank you, everyone. Absolutely, guys. Hank's got a really good little show going on, too, and he is involved with Funkbuster Baits, which they've got some pretty nice little spinner baits that I really liked, and he can explain a little bit better than I can. And if you go over to his channel, you'll see on there, they've got one that's it's a chatterbait connector for the front of your blade, so it's pretty neat too. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, definitely, you guys aren't subscribed to Hank, go over and subscribe to him. Do him a favor, and happy birthday, Hank. Bob says, that's what I was thinking, staying close to stable water. Yep, definitely, Bob. So okay, says, yes, we know it, Hank. It's just perfect. All right, let's see, White Whale. Let's see. Bob says, by the way, that PB master was a monster. Never thought they were that big. The big bass were that big there. Yeah. Bob, I think I've proven to, I'm just going to say about 25 or 30 people in the past year about how big fish really are in that lake. I hear people all the time saying, well, I don't catch nothing but a 1 pounder, 14 inches and stuff like that. But just last year, I think at the end of the year in the fall, I caught one. It was almost right at 6. I've caught several out of there. There have been 5, 5.5s. That one this year, right at the beginning, it set a little over 7. So there's some big bass in there. You just got to know what you're looking for and what to throw at that time. Yeah, that up and down temps rain are brutal. Yeah, Cody, they really are. Mess your fishing up in a hurry. Tom says, stopped up by the lake. I fished. Water temp was 47. Yep, you're getting there, Tom. Just about ready to get really nice. Let's see, Hank's no outdoors, I know. A little bit warmer. Most of my family lives down there. Always jealous about how quickly it warms up. Yeah, and moccasin, not that Hank would rub his nice warm temperatures and his nice weather and his fish that he's catching, while we're stuck in the middle of winter. I mean, he wouldn't rub that into anybody around here. He's a nice guy. Says, okay, we're not perfect, but close. Yeah. Whitewell says about 40 minutes to the border, smack dab between Champaign and Kankakee. Oh, I guess he's talking to somebody else. All right. Tom says they want to pay salaries in Illinois. That's why they're shutting down state managed lakes. Oh, I got you. See, now, Tom, I was under the influence that it was because they shut down. Actually, I don't know how true that would be because they shut down private lakes too. A couple private lakes. I know Lake of Egypt for one. That's kind of a private lake there. So I don't know if that would have anything to do with it or not because they shut that one down too. Dude, we can meet at Lake Shelbyville sometime. Aaron, are you talking to me? You're talking to Whitewell, I bet. So Carl Stuck says Golconda River Marina is closed. Yep. Carl, I used to fish that just about every year. I liked Golconda. That was a tough fishery for the last few years. We kind of did away with it on our tournament series because it got so tough. It was getting really, really low weights for the weigh-ins. David Chumney says fire crawl is killing it in Georgia. That's awesome. I tell you what, that fire crawl, it's been on fire here lately. Of course, this time of year, I mean, it's hard to beat anything in a red color like that. I know I've been throwing the square bill in that red color. The wiggle wart, that's another real good one this time of year. It's got a lot of search action to it. I really like. So Cody says, anybody watching what these MLF guys are doing on Fork? Cody, from what I've seen, just highlights and stuff, they are absolutely killing it. I heard, I don't remember if it was Keith Poche or who did. Somebody caught like a 12-pounder and then a 9, following it up with a 9-pounder after that. So I would say they're doing pretty good. Let's see, that finesse jig with the TRD ticklers is a nuclear water bait for me. Why? Well, that finesse jig standing up like that. Anybody that likes to throw a Ned rig would absolutely love that moccasin finesse jig. That thing it's just phenomenal the way it stands up like that. You get any kind of floating bait on that thing, and it stands straight up every single time. And it keeps you out of a lot of rock and cover and everything else too. It don't get hung up as nearly as easy. So Robert says, I will call about Lake of Egypt. They said they was open. Okay. I wonder what's going on there because I know they shut all our tournaments down. I know that. Maybe it's just bigger stuff. And Tom said it's still managed by the fishing department. Okay, I didn't know that, Tom. I thought it was just privately owned. I know it's privately owned, but I thought the people around Lake of Egypt manage that, but I guess not. Fishing Fat Man says fire crawl is sold out everywhere. Are you surprised, Fishing Fat Man? As hot as that thing's been going? Jeff Lockhart said, did you say Egypt was closed? I called Pyramid Acres this morning. They were open. Was going in the morning. Jeff, no, Robert Tom just said they are open. I guess they're just shut off to the tournaments for right now. Okay, says screw it. I'll bring half the load of beer and toilet paper. Everyone else bring the gear and boats. We'll start our own league. Corona. There you go, man. we'll have to meet at a pretty big lake. Have to go Lake of the Ozarks or something. Oh. buy a boss skirt and put it on chatterbait. E is in the house. What's going on, man? He's coming in guns a-blazing there. He's got beer mugs and all kinds of stuff. See, he's enthusiastic about being here. Oh, so I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys throw that swivel head? I know it's kind of hard to see with this lighting here, but not necessarily that particular swivel head, but just any swivel head in general. Because I can tell you that this bait here is getting ready to be an absolute killer bait, not for your smaller bass. This is going to be a bigger bass bait, I can tell you. Any of you guys that fish Kentucky, Barkley, Lake of the Ozarks, anything with, any type of river system like that, are bigger reservoirs that have, big points on them. That bait right there is absolutely phenomenal for it. Will says he loves the wobble head. This is probably one of my biggest go-to baits other than just a plain jig. When you get off these big secondary points, leading back into these spawning coves and stuff like that, and you've got rocky points like that, this bait here, I usually pair this up with either one. I do like the Guggen baits, the Bandito bug. That's one of my big favorites right now. Started throwing that quite a bit last year. Some of the Pit Boss baits work really well. The Rage Crawl, or not the Rage Crawl, but the Rage Bug is another good one. But that wobble head like that is just unbelievable for bigger bass. For whatever reason, I don't know why, if it's staying down there with them on them points or what's going on with it, but that thing picks up some killer size bass. Cody says, I do as well. Throw it where I'd throw a square bill. Yeah. Just picked up a few wobbles from Accent Baits that have skirts on them. I haven't seen any with the skirts yet. Now I have some pitching skirts I guess I could put on there. I just never thought about doing that, really. I kind of go to the jig after that point, which, jig right now, that moccasin jig, that crawdaddy color it's been crushing them right now. I can tell you that it's been pretty good. And I don't throw that out too often because a lot of guys I fish with know where I get my jigs and everything. And I don't want to be competing with my own stuff that I'm really throwing that I have a lot of confidence in and it's been producing well. But that jig and that color has been, really good. Oh, let's see here. Let's see. He was wondering where we're at on the live stream. All right. Sorry, guys. Ron was asking he thought we were on Gabe's channel tonight. He was trying to figure out where we were at. All right, let's see here. I have thrown them in the past. Good choice if you're not really into Carolina rig. Hank, absolutely. That's kind of what my go-to was a Carolina rig before I started fishing that wobble head. That's what I threw all the time, and it got hung a ton. Fishing those rocky points, which I'm not saying this won't, because it does. It gets hung a lot. It really does. But you have a lot more contact with it. You're feeling what's going on with it more. You can pick that bite up quicker. That Carolina rig, a lot of times those bigger bass, they come in, they grab that thing, and then they'll carry it off for 10 feet before you really know what's going on. You just think it's going down in deeper water. And a lot of times you'll miss fish doing that. So definitely, a little bit better bait, in my opinion, a little bit better technique. So Tom says, I've been building some swivel heads and putting chatterbait blades on them for about 2 years. Boy, that'd be Now, you doing that in a half? Now, I don't know what size you guys are throwing, but what ounces are you throwing to do on the chatterbait? Because I typically go with a half or a 3/4 when I'm fishing these, because I'm out, like I said, I'm on some pretty deep points. And Moxon says, ever throw the Tokyo rig? I stay away from that. Moxon, you know I'm not a huge finesse guy. Now, Gabe would be all over me. He probably throws it quite a bit, but I kind of stay away from it. Oh, let's see. Ron's trying to figure out where we're at here. He's on the other stream. All right, let's get that. So Aaron says, where is Gabe at? Aaron, he could not make it tonight. One, he was working late. Two, he's got to pick up his daughters and would not be up here in near enough time. So we're doing it solo tonight. Jeff Lockhart says, do you Texas rig the wobble head? The wobble head, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I can show you, Jeff. So you can see there. Let's see if I can get focused in for you a little bit better here without it blowing out. So you can see there, it's already connected there. So it's just the head, and then you tie right down here. So everything's already built in together, and you just stick your bait on there. I can grab one here and show it to you real quick what it looks like rigged up. You guys don't pay attention to this color. It doesn't work. So, you know, it's pretty much just like a Texas rig when you're putting it on there. It's not much different. Now, the one thing I will tell you guys is I bury my hooks quite a bit. So, let's do it this way here so you guys can see. So, and that's just how it's rigged right like that. You know, nothing to it. But like I said, that's an absolute killer bait. So, absolutely love that. All right, let's see. Owner pivot head works real good for that. 1/8 all the way to 3/4. Tom, that'd be a nice chatterbait then. Holy cow! Because I know the heaviest chatterbait I've thrown has been a 1/2 ounce, and you can ask a lot of guys. I'm not a big chatterbait guy. I'm really not. I did throw it this past weekend at the tournament. I caught a few fish on it, but it was just nothing that I had a whole lot of confidence in. I can tell you this one here, bend it back here, it's a little out of shape. So that was my bait of choice right there. Well, that light's really blowing that out. But that's the War Eagle spot remover. You know, I caught a 4.87 on it, and then one that was like right at 3 on that. And then caught a ton of fish that were in the slot limit, which were probably about 2.5 pounders each. They just wouldn't quite reach over that 16-inch mark. But that there was a killer bait this weekend, which is phenomenal for me. I love when spinner baits are on. That's just a really good bite for me. I have a lot of confidence in it, and I can fish it a lot, and cover a lot of water, do really well with it. All right, let's see here. You can buy some swivel sinkers and All Express real cheap. There you go. Tell him yes, the owner makes some great ones with great heads. I'm gonna check them out then. I typically throw the Strike King ones. It's typically what I buy. I haven't branched out a whole lot from there because I've had good luck with them, haven't had any problems, and they've got some pretty beefy hooks on it. That's one of the other things I really like about them. White Whale says, great to cover water on the bottom. Yes, absolutely. And, like I said, a Carolina rig kind of does the same thing, but it's a lot slower approach. When I'm throwing a Carolina rig, I'm looking for more of the lethargic bass that are just kind of sitting out there waiting for something to come to them. You're dragging it real slow and just kind of letting it set and wait. With that wobble head, you can drag it too, but you can also hop it around the bottom and kind of fish a little bit faster. And like you said, cover water a lot more on the bottom. So it does help a lot. So Tom says, I've been putting the Reaction Innovation skinny dipper on them and sometimes a creature bait. Yeah. I've actually heard guys putting a lot of the swim baits on there. I haven't tried it yet. I just don't have any confidence in it. I don't know if it'll work. I would think probably that tail, standing up and just kind of going back and forth like that would probably mimic some type of smaller bait fish kind of nosing down in the gravel trying to get something. It might work really well. I just haven't done it yet. So 570 says, I know the Z-Man came out with that new football head chatterbait. Yeah, see, I haven't thrown that either. So like I said, guys, I'm not a huge chatterbait fan. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I don't throw it a whole lot. So, DJ's Hall's in the house. What's going on, Denny? Aaron says, who's up for some fishing southeastern Missouri this Saturday? Oh, what is Saturday? Saturday. I'm trying to think what I got going on Saturday. I don't even know what I've got going on Saturday. Hang on, guys. All right, let me see if I can send. Gabe said he is having a heck of a time getting on. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can send this to Gabe and Ron. All right. RD Outdoors, there's that one. All right. Let's get him taken care of. All right, there's one. There's Gabe. All right, now we're getting him there. And Gabe, I just sent that link to Ron too. I emailed it to him so he can get it. I'll explain what happened with the live stream when you come up here next. I did figure something out. Something we were having a lot of problems with before when we first started doing live streams. We'd start up a live stream, get everything set up and ready to go, and then it wouldn't start. And now I know why. So it's a little bit different setting that I didn't know was in there. All right, let's see here. Some best chatterbait. So Hank Snow says, Z-Man has been in the bed with the Freedom Tackle making a version from the Tom Minks that had been thrown already. I haven't tried that yet, but I will now. There you go. So Robert says, when is the best time to use the wobble head? Robert, the best time to use the wobble head that I've used it is in the pre-spawn period. This is before the bass make their way all the way to the back of the coves for the spawning flats and stuff like that. These are going to be when you're fishing your secondary points that work really, really well. If you're fishing smaller water, let's say ponds or really small lakes, any points in there that you can get around and drag around, they'll work real well with that. Like I said, this is your pre-spawn bait. I'm not going to say you could probably catch them and spawn on it, but typically I'm throwing this really early. I'm going to say probably all the way through April. So Oklahoma says, I like a 3/8 chatterbait, especially for right now with the pre-spawn about to kick off. Easy to slow roll and burn. Yeah, definitely. And I think it was it's one of the Google John B. This has been several years ago. He had put out a video on chatterbaits. I think it was him on how to get them deeper. And he was actually taking the front blade and putting in a vise and bending it down more. And I tried that, and I'll tell you guys right off the bat, what I found with doing that was it didn't necessarily run deeper. It ran slower. So I don't know if you guys have ever tried that or anything and had any luck with that, but that was the issue I had. Is it didn't run deeper. It ran slower. It had that wobble, but it was like that bill was fighting water the whole time. So I'm just kind of curious to see if any of you guys have tried that and had any luck with it. So Tom says, I found them today because find them on eBay, Auction Simmons Sporting Goods, put out an estimate, Alabama. Davis says, pivot head design to use like a crankbait, crank and grind away swim baits work very well. Rage bug is money. Yeah, David, I have to agree with you there. Like I said, I use that rage bug for quite a while. And that bandito bug's not much different than a rage bug. Just a little bit more of a different body design, a little bit more flappers on the side, but I think they both work about the same. Says, all right, okay, put up bud. What's up? Gibbon House. If you haven't tried the Omega Rapture chatterbait, you need to. Best action out there. Bill, I actually, to be honest with you, I ran into the owner of Omega. It's been probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. He'd come up and fish my local lake here. I ran into him. I seen there was a rat boat out on that lake, and I thought, what in the world is this guy doing? And he was starting his motor up and kind of idling across it pretty fast. And I'm like, man, that guy has obviously never been here. So I went up right over to him in my boat and idled up to him and introduced myself and everything. And I said, man, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I said, but I fish this lake all the time. And I said, it has stumps everywhere. I said, I would not suggest running your boat, like fast idle like that at all. I said, I would barely putt around at all. And, we talked for a little bit and this and that. And it seems like a really, really nice guy too. So I did run into one of the other guys, I guess it kind of works with him or whatever, down at, I think it's called the Fishing Hole or something like that. They carry a lot of their baits down there. There's some pretty good guys, but yeah, their baits are phenomenal looking. I will say that they put a lot of time and thought into them. I'll say that. Let's see. Pills, you got to pick up some white whale. I'm going to start looking into the Freedom Tackle. They have a buzz bait that I'm going to try out this year. That free swinging hook is going to eliminate a lot of throw hooks. White whale, I think it's Booyah. I think. I'll have to look. But I have some of the swivel head hooks on the buzz baits. And I will tell you, as far as hookup ratio, I was extremely skeptical. Fished with them last year, and I have no complaints on them. They're better hookup ratio. I think they come through the water better. That hook hangs down in the water deeper is why they get a lot better hookup ratio, because they're not just straight out like this, running with the actual bait. They're actually hung down a little bit, and they're weighted. In my opinion, 100 times better. Let's see here. It says, I bent most of my chatterbait blades. I don't think it makes them dive deeper, but I do think it makes them rise less. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Maxine plans to get it into chatterbait game. Moxon, you should have known that question was coming. All right, let's see. Hank says, I have several of the Rapture chatterbaits, and they have some great hunting action to them. Never fail to catch a fish when throwing that chatterbait from Omega Custom Tackle. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, everything I've seen on it, they pay a lot of attention to detail with their stuff, which is really, a lot of times is what I look for in a bait company. Like I said, you guys all know I work with Moxon, and his baits are always full of detail. You could ask him about any one of his baits, and he could go into an hour-long spiel on what he did to get that bait the way he wanted it and why he did it. I mean, he's extremely knowledgeable in all of his baits on why he does everything, and his attention to detail is really, really what sells it on there. On top of his quality. So a couple of ways to improve them. Don't want to just build another bait. Yep, definitely. Let's see here. So has anybody, I know there's a couple guys maybe in here from a little bit farther south. Has anybody really thrown the swim jig yet? I know Oklahoma's Worst Angler, you should probably be just spot on with that thing right now, if not within the next week. I know this time of year, our power plant lakes, I really like to throw a swim jig. I didn't get to throw it too much Saturday. It was just cold front moved in and just absolutely killed the bite. But just kind of curious if anybody in our southern region is throwing it yet. Just kind of curious what the bite's looking like right now. Oh. And Aaron, I never did hear. How did your boat turn out with your depth finder? In case you guys didn't know, Mr. Aaron in his brand new boat, I think hit a stump already. It's called walk 'em down to the boat. It's never fun. All right, let's see. Moxus says this guy, swim jig bite is on. Yeah, I bet it is for you. And I'm just curious, what's your guys' favorite trailers for the swim jig? I know most of you guys already know mine's definitely, Rage Menace is one of my top ones. Twin Tail Grub, another one there. That's an awesome little bait or trailer there for the swim jigs. And I do like the smaller swim baits. They always work pretty good. And I know turning them upside down gives them a little bit different reaction, which I really like. But the one thing I did have a problem with is turning it upside down. I seem to get hung up in if I'm fishing brush or wood. I do get hung up a little bit more doing that. It says if you like doing the buzz bait, I like the one that make a buzz bait really nice blade design. Cody says yes. In Georgia, they are just starting to eat the swim jig. Tom says, well, at least I know it's broken. All right, let's see. Oklahoma's Worst Angler says, if we didn't have a 25 plus degree drop right now, and the next week, I think it would be next week's going to be Saturday. I got a 5.4 on a couple of buck bass moving up on a chatter, but Sunday it turned off. Yeah, that's a big problem with fishing this time of year. Is you're going to get those days. If you get out there and make it worth your while, it usually pays off really, really well. But then again, you're going to have them other days. It's going to be just nothing, which kind of ruins a lot of people sometimes. But that's fishing for you. Let's see. Cody says he's throwing the simple a simple single tail grub, dual tail grub, or a Kitech. Now, Cody, do you turn your Kitechs upside down? Just curious how many people do that. I know Georgia Bassmaster, he does that a lot too. And like I said, I'm looking for somebody that kind of fishes like what I do with the with turning it upside down and going through a lot of brush. I fish around a lot of stumps, a lot of trees, a lot of brush piles, stuff like that. But like I said, when I turn it upside down like that, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a difference in the tail kicking. I get hung up a whole lot more doing that way. And I don't know why. So Aaron says I fixed it, works sweet. Just broke the plastic transom mount for the transducer already fixed. And I have a spare mount for next time. Awesome, dude. I'm glad it was that just simple. It's good. It's a whole lot better than ripping your whole transducer off. Hank Snow says, I absolutely love the Bitters Bait Naked Swimmer. Straight up, upside down, and they have great action. I'll have to look at that one, Hank. Bitter Baits. Moxus is definitely a Zoom single tail grub. Good shallow or slow rolling deep. Keep moving at a very slow speeds. Yep, absolutely. David says swim jig or swim bait. What's everybody's thoughts? I prefer swim bait. Boot tail. David, I don't know. In my opinion, I think they both have their days. If I'm fishing, and a big difference to me is going to be what cover I'm fishing around. If it's grass, big, heavy, thick grass, I typically lean more towards the swim jig because I can rip it through there pretty hard. But that's like a little bit deeper grass. Now, if it's shallow grass, I do like the swim bait better. I can put a little bit weighted hook on there and I can come through that grass pretty easy. And I just, for whatever reason, I think they bite that a little bit better. They come out of that grass and really hammer it. If I'm fishing like heavy cover around, let's say like brush piles, stuff like that, like I said before, I get hung up a lot with the swim jig. I typically lean more towards the swim bait at that point too, just because I can just bury that hook and I don't have to worry about it getting hung on anything. So, Sooner's in here. How's it going, Sooner? Tom says, when I started fishing chatterbaits when I came out and I used a Lake Fork Tackle Magic Swimmer, that secret got out. Tom, with YouTube and Facebook and everything, there are no more secrets. I don't even, somebody says, oh, I've been throwing this for 3 months, and I'll be like, yeah, so is this guy over here. It's you can't keep anything secret anymore unless you're going fishing by yourself at all times and cutting it off before you even pull up out of the water. Somebody's going to see it and find out. Whitewell says, I started with a twin tail grub, 1/4 ounce bluegill skirt with a Yamamoto twin tail grub and a root beer is what I got an India PB on. I mostly throw the Kitex. This year, I'm going to try the speed crawls. Whitewell, the speed crawls are definitely phenomenal. I will tell you that. They've got a ton of action. Their tails on them are not enough, or their pinchers, whatever you want to call it, tentacles, whatever. They're not enough to grab a whole lot of water and slow your bait down at all. They come through the water extremely easy. I will say that. That's another one of my favorites there. Codyville says, yes, almost always and sometimes sideways as well. I haven't noticed any difference in hang up. Oh, Cody, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Like I said, I've noticed a lot more, but like I said, I fish through a lot of pretty thick cover sometimes. Let's see, it's hard to get away bad by the bait circle. Mentioned E. I use a finesse worm as a trailer. E, I tell you what, it's funny you say that. Biospawn has their plasma tail. It's typically the one with the purple and chartreuse tip, or the blue one with the really it's a really bright blue at the tip. Both of them I've had a lot of luck with, but I will say a lot of times bluegill will hammer the crap out of that tail, and they will rip it off nonstop. Smaller bass will too, but you get a lot of bites on them. Center says, awesome getting all this free knowledge, so I'm good. That's awesome, dude. If you guys haven't seen Center's channel, he's got a YouTube channel too he's been putting out. He's been doing a lot of fishing here lately. He's over in Oklahoma with Oklahoma's Worst Angler and Okie Outdoors. He's been hooking up pretty good. So Fishing Fatman says, Uncle Josh's original pork frog. Now, that's a phenomenal one, especially if you can get any more of them. We were talking about that. It's been several weeks ago. We were talking about the pork trailers and some other stuff. I think Moxon said that there was some guy trying to reinvent it, or did reinvent, I think. I don't remember what all we come up with on that, but I think somebody was trying to reinvent it with the actual pork, and there was some stipulations with it or something that didn't go through. I'm not sure. I know Moxon knows a lot more about that. I think he had talked to the guy. So Joe Marks, what's going on, man? Cody says, all right, that's what I was going to say as well. I throw them with a shouldn't a lot, so hanging up is just part of it. Yeah, it definitely is. I'll agree with you there. Tom says there's a difference between the super speed crawl and the smaller ultra vibe speed crawl. Yes, there is. Let's see. Swim jig and imitating bluegill for sure. Bass are aggressive. Swim baits and imitation shad, or the bass are around but not feeding aggressively. Let's see. Oh, so you're talking about the differences. I see now. And Fishing Fat Man, if Moxon's still paying attention here, hopefully he'll get you the answer on that Uncle Josh's pork. Like I said, we had talked about it several weeks ago, but I know there was quite a few guys asking about that. That's just a phenomenal bait to begin with. It really is. Like I said, swim jigs, I like the big fish appeal of the jig. You can get that with a big swim baits, but you also add considerable weight. I do like to go between both of them are stacked up, keep the bite going. Yep, definitely. And Moxie, you got a great point there because if you're keeping that bite going, no matter if it's a smaller fish or not, if you're into a school of fish, eventually you're going to get that bigger fish going because they're all. If one of them sees one eating, they're all going to get fired up. And like you said, you can just keep firing back in there and just keep catching them. So eventually you'll get to that bigger one. Wywell says, when do you throw your wobble head? I will typically throw that starting probably in the next 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. And I'll throw it pretty much all the way through April. Like I said, I'm looking for that pre-spawn before them fish really start moving back into the spawning flats. Like I said, when they're still out on the secondary point staging, making their way back, I'm going to throw that wobble head the whole time. Like to say, everyone needs to check out Whitewell Fishing Channel. Great videos and detailed song. Absolutely. And I have his channel linked on my homepage. I have it linked in my, let's see where else I've got it somewhere else too. I forgot where Whitewell, but yes, absolutely. He is a great channel. I look for him to go pretty far with this YouTube thing. I told him just the other day on his channel, he was doing a great job and he will grow definitely. And he does a lot of finesse stuff. So if you guys like finesse fishing stuff, he's definitely the guy to go see. Between him and Gabe, I think those two guys there knock it out of the park with finesse style. Like I said, and I'm not a finesse guy. I can do it, but I don't like to. So, let's see. So we got a couple minutes left here, guys. Anything you guys want to go over before we get off here? Try to keep it short and sweet this evening, since we don't have Gabe here to counteract with anything. And I do. There's one thing I wanted to cover with you guys. So what are you guys thinking about the guests that we've been having on? You guys liking that thing? Like having the guest on? Do you like just having to do the regular live stream? What's your guys' thoughts on that? And I know, we've said it a couple times before, once Gabe and I get into probably the end of this month, we did talk about going down to doing a live stream probably twice a month, just because there's so much stuff going on with tournament fishing. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on in the evening, stuff like that. So just kind of wanted to get your guys' feedback on that stuff. David says, any tourney coming up? Yes, I have one coming up the first weekend in April, which will be at Lake of the Ozarks. And just, I didn't even think about explaining this a while ago, guys. The reason I don't have tournament footage from Saturday was, number one, I'll show you guys here what I'm talking about. So you guys all know I use the GoPro 8. The problem with the GoPro 8 is the batteries only last for about 45 minutes. Which is fine, not a big deal. I've got 2 batteries, so you're talking an hour and a half of footage. When you're trying to fish a tournament for 8 hours, you want to film the whole thing. You want to get every fish catch you can, do this and do that. So what I typically do is I run a power pack on these. Well, when I run the power pack, I have to have this plugged in and this running down, which leaves this door open. So if I've got this whole side open, you guys can see there, that's the battery in there, the SD card, the plug-in, everything. I knew it was supposed to rain all day Saturday, so I didn't want to take a chance of getting water down inside of here and ruining the $500 camera. So that's why I did not film last Saturday on that tournament, because trust me, guys, I had some great footage I could have got off of that, but I didn't want to ruin that camera. I have been looking into, they sell some, it's like a putty, like a silly putty that goes around that on the inside to keep that protected. I'm not real sold on that yet. Like I said, guys, $500 is a lot of money just to go out there and take a chance with and ruin that. Hopefully, I really hope at Lake of the Ozarks we have good weather so I can take my camera along and film both days. It's a 2-day tournament. So I hope I can get plenty of footage off that. I haven't decided whether or not If I'm going to take, I don't know if I'm going to take 2 SD cards or not. I probably will, just to make sure I have plenty. But I typically record in looping. So it's only looping every 5 minutes. So I'm only saving 5 minutes of footage every time I do a fish catch or something like that. I click the button, it saves that previous 5 minutes, and then it starts a new 5 minutes. So I can put quite a bit on my card, but I'd rather not take any chances. But, just to explain to you guys what happened and why I didn't film that last one, that's the reason why. So, all right, let's see. Okay, says I got a dip, brother. Great show, man. Keep it coming. Stay safe. All right, man. We'll see you later. So I like to guess, in my opinion, they offer a unique outlook on certain types of fishing. Yeah. Okay. All right. It says I like to guess, but I like this too. Maybe try half and half. All right. Ron says most tourneys being canceled. Ron, that's just in your state. You guys keep that stupid coronavirus over in Illinois. I'm going the other way. Hopefully it don't get there by the time we have our tournament. I hope not. Let's see. Robert says, I like to have and have. Good on for tonight. All store outdoors? What is... Man, dude, I didn't even know you existed anymore. I haven't seen you in like months. But I did see you. You messaged me the other day on Instagram, so it's good to see you're back on YouTube. Whitewell says, using an external mic. Do you mean on the live stream or on the GoPro? Mox says, I wonder if Ziploc with a tape would work. It may work. I don't know. I could probably try that. That's not a bad idea. Just to keep the rain out of it. Like I said, the main thing I'm worried about. Like I said, I'm looking into that putty. If the putty works, I'll go with it, but we'll see. But the GoPro, no, I'm not using an external mic for it. Let's see. How much are GoPro 8 batteries? Maybe we can chip in and buy a couple. No, that's all right, dude. To be honest with you, the batteries, I think the batteries are $20 a piece, but you can buy a power pack. It's a not Aztec. It's crap. I can't think of it. They sell them at Walmart. They're like, you can get a big one. It's like $46. But it will keep your GoPro charged for like 12 hours. So it's more than enough to get you through a whole day. The only bad part is, like I said, you have to plug it in. So, and the only days I really have to worry about is on rain. If it's pouring down rain. If it's a small sprinkle, I'm not too worried about it. I think I can deal with that. But Saturday, I mean, it flat out poured all day long. So I just didn't want to take a chance. All-Star says, I've been here, dude. Just been busy. All right, man. That's all right. Sorry, some Missouri tournaments are being canceled too. Tom, you be quiet. I don't even want to hear that. Whitewell says, considering my options for an external mic. Whitewell, I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, talk to Tackle Junkie. He runs, I can't think of the name of him, but he runs a couple of pretty decent ones, and I know he's been through several of them, so he'd be the guy to talk to about that. Ron says, Bass canceled that's a chick. You and Gabe just going to have to keep us entertained. Oh, man. Well, Ron, but I guess we'll do what we can. Speaking of which, when are you heading up north? Do you know if it's still open to fishing? Going to go this morning. Don't want to drive up for 2 hours for nothing. So, Ronald, if you didn't see that, Jeff Lockhart was asking about Egypt being open. Because I know I'd heard they had closed it, but I guess maybe it's just for tournament fishing. But he's asking to see if they'll be open. You can always use your waterproof case and then dub in the voiceover in editing. Hank, I don't have a waterproof case for that one. When they come out with the GoPro 8s, they are completely different because of this part right here. This is made different. So the old cases do not fit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can go buy a new one. I realize that. I was just letting you know that the old ones didn't fit. I like the Ziploc bag idea. Audio would be poop, but you could do a voiceover. Might get foggy in there. Well, I don't think I have to worry about the why. Well, I think what he was talking about doing the plastic over it is not covering the lens, because the lens is, the whole camera is waterproof. It's just this opening right here. That's the only thing. This little door that fits on here, I don't know if you guys can see that real well. It's got a seal all the way around it. This is all foam through here. It completely seals up. When you put this on there, it's got a little lock. If you guys can see that right here at this end, you push this. Hang on, let me take this off here, make it a whole lot easier so you can see. So when you push this actually pulls out right there. So when you push that down, it's hard to push down. You got to hold it and then slide that in. And that actually completely seals that hole in right there. But that's the only part I'm really worried about. All right, let's see here. Tape around the lens, yeah. Did your frog togs hold up good Saturday? Absolutely did. And I'm glad you said that, because the guy I was fishing with, he's a little bit older guy than I am, but he actually had the exact same set, and we had zero issues with it. I was fine from head to toe. The only thing that got wet on me was my hoodie that was hanging out the bottom of the raincoat. When I sat back down in the seat, I kind of soaked it, but with the rain and everything, I didn't get wet at all. I was completely happy with it. And like I said, I think I spent like 50 or $60 on them, so they weren't terrible. So Sooner says, I use the external battery pack from Walmart on my GoPro, and I can video all day long, and it's worth the money. Oh, definitely, Sooner. Yeah, it's well worth it. As long as you don't have the rain and have to worry about getting the inside wet, they're well worth it. Ron says 1st of May. And Egypt is open as of today anyway. Okay. 1st of May, he's heading up north. All right. Jeff says Lake of Egypt is still open. He called him this afternoon. Okay. So Tom says Fluke Master did a good video on cameras and remote mics. I've got the info written down in the basement by the computer. There you go, Whitewell. Tom might be able to help you out too. Like I said, I'm not going to throw you any suggestions out there because I haven't used any external mics yet. I still want to get one, but they're not cheap. I can tell you that. And I have talked to many people that have tried to buy some of the cheaper ones off Amazon and eBay and stuff. And the big problem that they constantly have is when they go in to do their video editing, they can't get their voice to match up good. They said at the beginning it'll start off fine. And, you can adjust your audio in software, or in your editing software to kind of match up as you go. But what they were saying is it would be going fine. And then for about 10 seconds, it would lag a little bit, and then it would catch back up. So they were constantly having to go through their videos and edit every 10 seconds to make sure they were on cue with everything. Let's see. He says, I thought the GoPro 8 was waterproof up to 33 feet. It is. It is completely waterproof if you have that door on there. But that's what I was explaining a while ago. If I use that battery pack, I have to plug this cord into the side, which opens that side door, and then it's not waterproof on that side. But the actual camera itself is waterproof. Let's see. DJ says, I need to get another GoPro. I was using an old Hero 3, but it worked. It won't work with the Windows 10. Really? Huh. I didn't even know that. I haven't messed with them too much, but. Well, it says budget-friendly frog togs. Do a review on those for us. That would need cost-friendly rain gear. Definitely. I could definitely do that. They're, like I said, I think I got them at Dick's. I think I paid 50 or 60. I don't even remember. I think they were, no, I take that back. I want to say they were 60 originally. I got them on sale for 49 or something. I don't know. It was kind of a fluke deal. I went to the Ozarks last year and ended up, as soon as I got there, went to pull my other ones out and caught them on a cleat on my boat. and ripped almost the whole leg off the other side of my pants. So I had to hurry up and go get a pair, and Dick's was right there, and we just happened to find them by chance, and I bought them there, and I'm really happy with them. They're not like the ones you get at Walmart that have that cheap plastic that their seams are glued together. I mean, they're actually like it's not a fabric per se. It's like it's a thicker material. I'd have to kind of show you, but yeah, I can definitely do a review on them. Let's see. White Will says, all right, Fishing Map. Is the Walmart battery pack y'all talking about electronics or the automotive in Walmart? No, they're not in automotive. They're over in the by the cameras and stuff. Hang on just a second there, Fishing Fat Man. I will actually pull this up for you, and I will show you what it is. Let's see, or the name of it, I should say. And it's an Anchor Power Pro. It's the Metro 20,000. I don't know if I can actually, let me see. I might be able to put a link in there for you. Let me try that. I've never tried that yet. So let's see. I don't know if it'll let me do this or not, but I'm going to try it here. All right, there you go, Fishing Fat Man. That's a link to it right there. So that's the 20,000 one. That one will run you all day, no problem at all there. Let's see here. Fravel makes a decent, affordable rain gear. That's another one, yeah. I tell you, trust me, I'd love to have those 100-mile-an-hour proof ones, but I have a hard time spending, $300 for bottoms and another 200 something for the top, and you're almost $600 in the whole suit. And then I just found out the other day, I guess you have to buy an inner liner for it too if you want the warmer ones. So, I mean, you're talking some money there for that stuff, which I'm not saying it's not worth it, because I highly believe I've seen plenty of people fishing with that stuff, and I've never heard anything bad come out of them. So I think they're definitely worth the money if somebody has that money to spend. That's a lot of money to spend just for rain gear that you're going to use maybe, depending on if you're a big tournament fisher or something like that, and you fish a lot in the rain, you fish a lot in the cold, definitely well worth it. But if you're just fishing 2 or 3 times a year in the rain, I probably wouldn't spend the money. But that's just me. Let's see. That would be a good vid. Need to buy some rain gear out of trash bags. Dude, I hear you, man. That's what I grew up with. Trash bags, a little Walmart bag. They work. You can get those clear ponchos from Walmart. I think they sell them for like $1 a piece. They work pretty good, though. Let's see. DJ says, I have Frog Tog Toads jacket. Haven't really used it, but it feels heavier than the others I've seen. Yeah, I'll have to, like I said, I'll look at the name. You know what? I'll just do the video on them. Like I said, I think they're worth doing a video for a cheaper rain gear or rain suit. And I'll make sure I put it all down in the description for you guys with a link and everything. So if you want to check them out, you can. Like I said, for the price point, I highly believe they're well worth it. Because I always ask the rain suit out of a skirt material. Boy, I tell you what, well, that'd be a funky looking rain suit. They have Frog Togs on Amazon for a full suit for 20 and up. Fixing to get me a set. Sooner before you buy one of them $20 sets, let me get this video out so you guys can see that. Because the $20 sets, I will tell you, they're light and the seams are glued together. And I'm telling you, if you let's just say you're at one of your ponds fishing or lakes or whatever, and you go to step a little bit farther over a puddle or over a stream or something like that, I'm telling you right now, you will rip the crotch out of those pants immediately. I mean, they don't take anything. If you sit down in a boat seat, I can tell you this, if you sit down in a boat seat and hit a big wave and come back down, just from you doing that will start to rip the seams apart. I mean, they're that cheap. They really are. So, All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it good there. I appreciate everybody that showed up for the Monday night live stream. It was definitely well worth it. I will try to do. I may be able to knock that video out for a Wednesday video. And guys, just let you know, Sunday, yesterday, that was the last time you'll have to see a video come out in the evening like that. I told David on here before, he said he really liked the videos in the morning. I have to agree with him. Just seeing the stats and the analytics come back on that, the ones in the evening just completely bombed. They did not do well at all. So I will be going back to the 6 o'clock in the morning drop in the videos. I know that kind of works out for a lot of guys before they go to work, or some guys that go to school and stuff like that. So I'll definitely go back to that. Just give you guys a heads up. So Wednesday morning, like I said, if I get time, I might go ahead and just drop that rain suit one. That'd be a pretty good one to do. Since you guys are interested in that one too, and it's kind of in the rainy season, so it kind of makes a little sense. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you next Monday. Hopefully, back with Gabe by then. If not, we'll just have to do it without him again. So, all right, see you guys.